Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Most people out there think creativity is this magical, elusive gift you're either born with or you aren't. But honestly, it's not. It is actually a structured, repeatable system that absolutely anyone can learn. And once you really grasp this system, you start connecting things that everyone else is completely missing. You build the kind of unique taste that makes you stand out. And frankly, looking at the landscape today, mastering that system matters more than ever.
Because look, we are all facing this massive paradox right now, aren't we? AI can literally generate thousands of options before your morning coffee is even cold. Videos, pitches, music, code, you name it. But here's the massive catch, and it's a big one. Having more options does not mean you are being more original. Actually, if you use it badly, AI is going to turn you into a commodity faster than you can blink. I mean, think about it. If everyone has access to the exact same magic trick for cheap or for free, it completely stops being a competitive advantage.
Let me give you a perfect example of what happens when you ignore this. In 2025, there was this rock band called Velvet Sundown. They crossed 1 million listeners on Spotify in just over a month. Their songs were hitting viral charts all across Britain, Norway, Sweden. They had the whole vibe, the vintage look, the long hair, the deeply soulful singer. There was just one tiny little problem. The band didn't exist. The whole thing was entirely AI. And sure, they sounded perfectly acceptable, but they were also completely generic. They fell right into this trap of what we call synthetic sameness. When everything you make looks and feels exactly like everything else, your work becomes undifferentiated. It's inconsequential. You basically become invisible.
So, to beat this commodity trap, we're going to master a specific framework to push AI way further. It's called the EDGE framework: exacting standards, differentiated approach, grounded in reality, and emotional connection.
Let's jump right into step 1, the first E, exacting standards and the absolute power of ruthless editing.
So the most dangerous thing about AI is actually its most useful trait. It never, ever runs out of versions. Take the 2026 AI film Hellgrind. This was an incredible feat, right? A 95-minute high-definition movie put together by a 15-person team in just 14 days using tools like Hixfield and Claude. But to make that happen, the team had to generate a staggering 16,000 clips for just the first 25 minutes of the movie. 16,000! That is just a massive machine-generated mountain of slop.
But here is where ruthless rejection comes into play. Out of those 16,000 generated clips, they only picked 253 to actually use in the film. They killed over 98% of the AI's output. That is what exacting standards actually look like in practice. You simply cannot accept the first thing the machine spits out.
This perfectly captures why that level of editing is so crucial. Under the hood, AI is just operating on probabilities. It's predicting the next likely word or pixel based on its training data. It's kind of like this incredibly fast jazz musician constantly rolling dice. It generates endless probability, and yeah, sometimes it surprises you, but it also hands you endless noise. It is your human taste and your judgment that has to carve all that slop into something beautiful.
All right, moving to step 2 in our framework, D, differentiated approach. You have to defy the AI defaults.
Imagine you and 10 of your competitors are all pitching an ad for a new burnout app. If you just ask AI for an idea, the default approach is probably going to be a generic sunny beach scene. Escape the stress. It's safe, it's super obvious, and honestly, it's boring. But what if you throw out the beach entirely? What if instead you show a dying phone stuck at 1% in a pitch-dark room while everyone else in the world is still texting? It's the exact same story, but instead of just lazily saying burnout is real, you've made everyone in the room lean in. They literally feel that anxiety in 3 seconds flat.
If you want to consistently force this kind of differentiation, you should be running your AI outputs through 3 very specific questions before you finalize anything. Number 1, what is the most obvious version of this idea? Number 2, what are 5 distinct angles that move aggressively away from that default? And number 3, which of those 5 is going to make people actually stop and take notice? Remember, AI can make the obvious version look pretty, but differentiation means finding that sharp angle that everyone else is too afraid to try.
And the payoff for defying those defaults is massive. Let me tell you about the 2025 NBA Finals. A prediction market company called Kelce needed an ad. Now, traditional studios wanted 6-figure budgets and months of lead time. Instead, one single person with solid AI skills generated something just completely unhinged. We're talking an alien drinking beer, a guy swimming in a pool of eggs, a cowboy holding a chihuahua. Total nonsense, right? They ran 400 trials just to get 15 usable weird shots. And the result? They spent a tiny $2,000 budget and racked up 18 million impressions. Because they refused to be safe and normal, they totally won.
Okay, step 3 in our EDGE framework is G, grounded in reality.
Because guys, you cannot blindly trust these machines. I actually tested this myself recently. I fed Gemini a screenshot of some data and asked it for insights. It spat back this incredibly confident, detailed analysis. But then I pressed it. I asked, wait, can you actually read the text in that image? And it immediately confessed it couldn't. It gave me this hilariously polite apology about getting ahead of itself and completely fabricating the numbers. It wasn't just hallucinating facts, it hallucinated its own ability to read the image. AI will confidently hand you work that feels super smooth, but is completely weightless.
You have to anchor your work, much like the director Christopher Nolan did in The Dark Knight. Nolan could have so easily faked that massive 18-wheeler flipping over using CGI. It would have been cheaper and faster, but he didn't. He insisted on flipping a real, giant physical truck right on LaSalle Street in Chicago. Why? Because the audience can literally feel the physical weight and the real danger in the theater. The street is real, the truck is real, the whole scene is grounded. So your actionable takeaway here is pretty simple. Never let the AI have the last word on what is true. Ground it. First off, demand real links, exact quotes, and sources. If it hesitates or can't provide them, treat it as fiction. Second, play them against each other. Feed one AI's output into another. Ask Claude to verify what ChatGPT just told you. And finally, bring your own verified data to the table using tools like NotebookLM, so the AI is forced to work within concrete reality.
And that brings us to our final step, the last E, emotional connection, the human spark. Think about a simple candle flame for a second. An AI can generate an absolutely photorealistic, stunning image of a candle. You can give it perfect lighting and background music, but think about the context. A candle on a birthday cake? That means joy. A candle lit at a vigil? That means profound grief. A candle during a blackout is family fun, and a candle on a dinner table is romance. It is the exact same physical flame, but only a human being knows how to make it evoke a totally different emotion based on our actual lived experiences.
Coca-Cola learned this lesson the really hard way. For their 2024 holiday campaign, they tried to remake their famous classic Christmas ad entirely using AI. And look, the machine nailed the polished pixels. It had the red trucks, the falling snow, all that perfect brand nostalgia. But the public completely rejected it. People called it soulless. The images were familiar, sure, but the human emotion just completely failed to land. The AI knew exactly what images to draw, but it had no idea what the spirit of the holidays actually feels like.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember your true edge in all of this. AI can make literally anything you want today, at the push of a button. But your unique human perspective is what actually makes you creative. The machine can endlessly paint the flame, but only you can make it mean something to another person. Creation isn't done when it simply looks right. It's only done when it genuinely feels right. So what are you going to make your flame mean?